Okay, so this week we're going to customize the jQuery mobile. So we all know about Theme Roller, right? This was discussed with our initial jQuery mobile video. So you can go here and adjust buttons and whatnot. And you can download the CSS and then include it into your HTML. So it's fairly straightforward. So now this is the typical jQuery mobile page. Preview it in Safari. So it has a header, a list button, and a footer. In Safari or in Firefox, you can launch the inspector, web inspector, and you can click on whatever item you want to check out. So let's say the header here. So from on the right side here, you could tell that the CSS is called UI-header, and it also includes title and footer and title. So you can mess around with the different headers by turning CSS on and off just to see what it looks like and what it affects. You can also see, so the main page is called UI-page. So that this gives us a clue to what to address in our customized CSS. So for instance, in our HTML, we can address those CSS classes. So for instance, we can do class UI-page. Let's do something simple like setting a background color. Let's do a light blue. And the key here is to type, in addition to this, !important. Okay, basically this command will try to override any CSS that's included on this line here. So without this change might not take effect. So with this, you force the browser to change to UI page. Okay. So you can test it out. Now the entire page is blue. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a color, could be an image. So you can do URL, colon, and then the image URL inside. Images / name of a file. So we can do this. The image is tiled with the background image. Obviously this might not be the look you want. You can tell the tiling to turn off by saying no repeat. Or you can set the scale of the background image with the background scale, I believe, or size. Background size. Background size cover, make sure it is important as well, since we're trying to override the standard jQuery mobile. So cover, as the image size parameter, covers the entire content. Okay. So it's fairly easy. This works for all the elements in terms of a concept. So with the buttons, I can inspect the buttons. And the class for it is a UI-button. So to change the button, we do UI button. Is it BTN? BTN. You can do a quick background as well. Nice light orange. So the button now is completely orange. Obviously you could do gradient fills or image fill and all that good stuff. UI BTN dash inner. Let's pick another color. Let's do a pinkish. Just gonna comment this out for a minute. And obviously you can change the text as well by adding UI button text. Make sure it's important. Okay, so obviously you don't use, if you want to change the color, you don't want to change the background, but you want to change the color. Let's do a dark blue. So it's now dark blue. And I'll uncomment the background. So it should be orange button with a blue link. Okay. Visually not that interesting, but you get the point. So with CSS you can build classes on top of each other in terms of UI button text is a child of UI button inner and inside of UI button. Technically you can direct it, you can control it directly. It should work fine. Yep, should work fine. But you can also build, you can select it through child-parent type relationships. So obviously you can also control the parameters of the icons of the buttons as well. So we can add a data icon to this link here. Obviously you can add your own icon instead of using the pre-made one. So this should be a delete icon. So the class for this button is UI button icon left, which is a child of UI icon. Okay. We can definitely adjust the positioning of it. So we're going to affect the left positioning. See what it looks like. Not all that drastically different. So as you can see, I'm starting to push it further to the right by playing with the left positioning here. So yeah, pretty straightforward. There's a UI content as well, where you define your content and footer and header. Let's change the color of the header. I believe it's UI header, maybe. change the background. Make sure to type correctly. Class UI header. So as you can see, I can pretty much affect anything I want. So with do a gradient fill, you can use the linear gradient option. Make sure it's important. Save. As you can see, it's kind of psychedelic. Alright, so that's how you affect pretty much every aspect of an jQuery mobile. Just look up the class definitions for each objects, and you can change it to whatever you want.